This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. We're going to talk about ADX today, and I want to talk about it in relationship to price. We got to make sure you understand that it confirms price action. We don't just use it by itself. All right, now there are two keys to ADX we're going to cover today, and I want to go through a number of stock examples, just looking at a lot of charts and showing you some specifics that we need to look at when it comes to the price action to make sure we're using it right. All right. Now, if you want to learn more about ADX, you can go to, you can click the link in the description to find out more about the book. Also, if you do enjoy this content, please hit the like button and also subscribe. Okay, I'm going to start with the stock of STLD. Now, I've got all four time frames up. Well, it's actually an extra weekly here, but I've got three here: monthly in the bottom left, weekly in the bottom right, daily in the upper right. I'm going to refer to all these time frames, so I think it's important that I have them all up right now. But we are going to focus in on the weekly chart, and let's just start out with the STLD. If you notice, we've got this move here where we've gone sideways. We start consolidating in a sideways fashion. Now, I see a peak here, another peak right around there, and another one here. I mean, to me, they're all around the 140 level, okay? So I would draw a horizontal line right around that 140 mark. If you want to go just above, that's fine. But to me, that's the level, that's the line, all right? The true line that we're trying to find. To see where it's getting rejected. All right, and then on the low side, we've got a ascending triangle basically because we've made a higher bottom. But we're looking for a breakout above these three peaks. That's essentially what's taking place. And why are we doing that? Because now we have an extended period where price has been below the 25 line, this 25 line, not price, but ADX has been below. This blue line has been low for an extended period of time, and it got real low here. All right, so what do? When price is low, so there's two things we're doing with ADX. Number one is when price is low, when the ADX is low, we draw trend lines on price and we wait for a breakout. All right, now the second thing we do is when ADX is strong. All right, not just high, but strong. If we get a strong reading, then we look to buy on a pullback. All right, so we become a pullback trader when the ADX is strong in relation to price. In other words, it's confirming price action. All right, we don't use ADX by itself. We confirm the price action, as I said before. And then the second way is if we have no trend in place, we have low trend strength, we're building energy for a move. All right, so when that happens, we are drawing trend lines on price and we're waiting for a breakout. All right, so those are the two keys that we're using with the ADX. Now, it sounds simple, but when we start to put it into play, it becomes a little bit more, I wouldn't say difficult, but it's not quite as simple. All right, so let's just give another example. So let's look at something like, look at this gold stock. First of all, we have this period, it's low ADX period, where we went down and create in November of 22, and we stayed low for an extended period until April of 24. That's a pretty extended period. Now, what we want to do is draw trend lines on price. Well, it gets a little bit fuzzy here. The high of this consolidation phase is here. The low I would probably put down here. This is kind of like a horizontal line here. I'd probably put a horizontal line here. All right, now look, I know it doesn't sound very scientific, right? But I'm just kind of looking at this as we've got this sideways situation and we're looking for a breakout. All right, now there's a couple of ways you can play the breakout. You can let it break out and then play that first pullback when it checks back to the breakout area. That's a safer way to do it. Okay, now, if you want to play the breakout itself, that's fine. You just got to make sure you're giving it room. I know what I used to do myself was if it broke out like this, let's say it took out that high and it had any kind of a little retracement back in, then I would just stop myself out and I'd wait for the next breakout. What invariably would happen is that I would stop, I would end up missing it because I wasn't watching it again. All right. Now I use alarms extensively, that probably wouldn't happen, but I don't really do that anymore. What I do now is if the pattern is strong, and I'm talking really strong, and let me just show you what I mean by that. If I have low ADX on this time frame and I have an extended period of low ADX on the higher time frame, what I want to do is I want to buy this thing and I want to give it room. All right, I'm going to give it room to roam. It might not go up right away. It might come back and chop around and really take out all the breakout players. Really what it's trying to do is just eliminate all those guys and then work to the upside. Now that didn't happen in this case. It just kept going. It just broke out and it took off. All right. Now it did give you another opportunity on a pullback, which was a nice pattern. Notice what happened to the ADX. Now all of a sudden the ADX is strong. So what do? We buy a pullback. We look to buy the pullback, and we can use the lower time frame to help with that. So we get the pullback here, and I'm actually not going to scroll back for that. But the point is that you've got the ability to play it in either fashion. Okay, and then once this starts to get going, and we know we're in a strong trend condition through this whole period, basically a power trend, we can look to play pullbacks in the trend all throughout this period. All right, so low ADX, and we're waiting for a breakout. Strong ADX, we are waiting for pullbacks. Okay, let me give you a different example. We're going to look at something like Rio. Now, here's where I think it gets a little interesting, because what you could do if you wanted is just draw a trend line on price, right? Do that and wait for and then you wait for a breakout. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but you could also follow my technique that I teach in my course, which I call, the 1, 2, 3 reversal. All right. Now, the way you would look at that is saying, okay, this is the low and this is the pivot area before the low. So this is the anchor point for a trend line. So I can take the prior period here, draw my trend line in, and now I know I've broken the trend line. So this is the one. This break in the trend line is the 1 in a 1, 2, 3 change in trend. Now, I know I've got a 2 right here because we're testing this low. So we went up and now we're testing the low. So we have the 2. And then the 3 would be coming back up through this prior high. So this breakout here, let me clear this off so you can see. This bar right here has taken out the 3. Now we are in an uptrend, and that's a low ADX condition. And we're playing the 1, 2, 3. There's nothing wrong with playing a 1, 2, 3 reversal with a low ADX condition. All right. Now, what's happening in this is all of a sudden we're showing some strength here. It will not be long before this blue line is above 25. And now all of a sudden we're looking to play pullbacks in it. Okay. So you just need to know your rules. And when you have a low ADX condition that lasts at least 25 to 30 bars, then you draw trend lines on price, or you can play, and you can draw a trend line on the 1, 2, 3 condition and play it for a reversal if it looks like that. So you've got to be, if you're going to do that, you need to be trending to the downside. Remember, the only way you can reverse a trend is if the trend is down. You have to make sure we have a clearly well-defined downtrend, which this was. Okay, and then you can look to play the reversal. If it's chopping sideways and all it's doing is something like this, then you can't play the 1, 2, 3 reversal. You can only play the breakout. You only look for a breakout. Okay, so it's something you just need to keep in mind if you're going to do that. Let's look at something else here. Let's look at something like this. And this is one that was on my list that was another one where you could have looked at it as a break of the trend line, and this was actually the test. This was the 2 in a 1, 2, 3 change in trend. And then this gave an opportunity to get in before it took off with a trigger on the smaller time frame. Now, again, when we look at the ADX, we had strength before. We had this move to the upside. That's the strength that we're showing in the ADX. Okay, so then you're looking to play a pullback. All right, so just keep those things in mind. If you have strength, you look for a pullback. That's how you look. That's how you look to do it. Look at something like MU. MU looked like, so if you looked at the price pattern, you'd say, wow, this looked like that was pretty strong, but it wasn't when you look at it in relationship to the ADX. We did get green DI starting to move to the upside, and in that type of pattern, that's pretty good. But in this case, what I think I would be looking at is drawing my downtrend in place, We have the 1 breaking the downtrend line, and then we have the 2 as the test here. All right, and then coming back up through here is your 3. Now, because DI was showing strength, you could have played this off of the 2, right? You could have played the move here as this started to turn up off of this, treating it as a pullback trade because we had, a good strength. Look at the higher time frame. So if we go and we look at what happened on the higher time frame, a lot of strength to the upside before the pullback. The same thing holds true here. We had a lot of strength in the ADX prior to that pullback play, right? And so you could have played this as a weekly, daily pullback because it's so much strength on the other time frames, kind of confirming what you're looking for. Okay, so those are the types of things you need to be aware of. So look at something like Intel. So if you look at the higher time frame, this doesn't really have anything in place that would lead me to believe that this is the start of a monster trend. All right, but when you look at it on the weekly chart, you had a low ADX condition. It was a single time frame low ADX play. Now you could have played it with the daily. All right, but I would have looked at it as, hey, we got this low ADX pattern, and then we formed a little pinch play, and we had green DI crossing over and holding. Look at the volume right before this took off, and then even as it was taking off. But low ADX condition, what do? We draw trend lines on the price pattern. Now, when I look at this, it is a little, look, you don't have a straight, easy way to define it. So I look at sometimes these tails, and I kind of ignore them, so I can draw a pretty good trend line when I do that. All right, and so I think you can take some certain liberties. Now everybody's got a different opinion on how you draw trend lines on price. I'm sure there's guys that would say, hey, I'm going to draw a trend line like this and use that. That's fine. Everybody's going to have a slightly different way. What you do need is to make sure it's well defined. We don't really have, in my world, we don't really have a well-defined way of drawing in any kind of a reversal pattern for sure. It's just a low basing pattern here. And I just want to make sure it clears the bodies of these bars. All right, look at the bodies. We want to make sure we're clearing the bodies. And if we do that, then we have a pretty strong breakout pattern developing. Okay, so make sure you're following all of these little tiny little things that you're looking for. Look at something like this. This is a Caterpillar. So we had monster strength on the ADX on the monthly chart, all right? And it pulled back, and the moving averages stayed rising. This was a pullback on the monthly time frame. And then we had a pretty big drop here that showed some strength, but then immediately we moved back up and we started to show strength on the weekly chart, and we had a rising ADX above 25. We have a rising ADX above 25. What do? We play a pullback. So this makes a strong move. It breaks out above these highs, and then it goes and works sideways. If you notice, it never touched the 18. Well, that's okay because we have a rising ADX line in place. All right, so in this situation, we're looking at the lower time frame. We got the A, B, C pattern developed, and look at how this developed with a MACD double bottom above, and then the ADX got low. And as this started to emerge to the upside, we know this had a significant amount of strength behind it. So we had strength on the upside. Look at the amount of strength before the pullback. And then look at the strength that happened after it started to kick in again. So when we have that much strength behind the pattern, we're looking for an entry as the daily chart kind of gets going again. And you can draw a horizontal line here because of the way it played out. It had a double bottom in the MACD. You can just draw this and connect these two highs and look for an entry off of that. All right, so these are just numerous ways. I just wanted to go through and say, hey, we've got ADX doing something in 2 time frames, or might just be in 1 time frame, and then we're looking to draw our trend lines in place, and then we're going to go and look at either a pullback when it's strong, or if it's a low ADX condition, we're going to draw trend lines on price, and we're going to play for a breakout. All right, let me know if you have any questions. See you next time.